Today on the show, we're joined by award-winning director, producer, actor, and writer, Jenna Laurenzo. This is Game On. 3, 2, 1. Jenna, thank you so much for joining us on Game On. Are you ready to play some games today?
Oh yeah, I love me some games.
What's your favorite game to play?
Usually sports, but these types of games also bring out a competitive side of me that I don't really love, but...
What sport do you like to play?
Well, I grew up playing basketball, soccer, and softball. My wife gets me to try to play in her intramural league, but I'm like, I don't think we can play together.
Are you managing to play sports where you are now?
No, I think we're running. I mean, seems the most socially distant option. I do a lot of yoga, but...
That's an easy thing to do from home, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't require too much space, just about.
Yeah. And I do it right here.
Oh, really? So you're on the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. And how are things over there?
You're kind of looking at it, just staying inside and working from home.
Oh, well, Jenna, the first alarm is going off, which means it's time for us to play our quarantine quiz. And this is where we get to find out a little bit more about what you've been up to during this quarantine period. So I'd like you to say the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
PJs or jeans?
PJs.
Cooking or takeout?
Cooking.
Shower or a quick splash?
Shower.
Hulu or Prime?
Prime.
Popcorn or ice cream?
Neither.
Drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Music or books?
Books.
FaceTime or Zoom?
Zoom.
Weights or yoga?
Yoga.
Makeup or natural?
Natural.
Peace and quiet or a party?
Oh, peace and quiet.
A daily walk or a run?
Run.
TV or film?
Film.
Productive or procrastinate?
Productive.
Grounded or anxious?
Depends on the hour.
Work or play?
Work with some play.
That's a good balance. So that's a little bit about the work side of things then. Has things changed for you because of this situation we found ourselves in?
Well, I've always written a lot from home, so writing from this space I'm used to that. I think that what's most interesting is all of those meetings, because I go back and forth between LA and New York, and I'd have to go there for meetings all the time, but now the meetings are happening via Zoom, and I like that.
How do you feel that the industry has changed, and what do you think the future of it's going to be after this lockdown period?
Well, I think a lot of interesting content, first of all, is going to come out of this. I think, when you have a bunch of people stuck at home and there's this pressure cooker of creativity, interesting stuff is bound to happen. I was just having this conversation earlier with an author who writes for an LGBTQ plus audience as well. And we were talking about how it's important nowadays to have a very specific audience in mind, because there's just so much content being made. And it's like, well, how do you reach the audience? And when you know who that audience is specifically, it helps navigate that distribution. And hopefully it broadens beyond that audience, but at least you have a roadmap to begin with. And I think that moving forward, particularly with independent film, I think that there's going to be less of a middleman. I think it's going to be more about artist to audience directly. And especially now when people realize that they can do so much from their home and they don't need 30 people, they might need just 5 people.
Well, you've been writing, producing, and acting for several years now. And then, of course, it was your first film, Girl Night Stand, that went viral, 5 million views on YouTube. And how did that then lead you into doing such an amazing job with LezBomb and getting that on Netflix?
Well, Girl Night Stand was meant to be a proof of concept to show investors that there was an audience that was hungry for such content. So when it did go viral, it made the conversation, much more grounded, because you had all these analytics and data to back it up. And so that the short film, having had an audience that I could point at, helped get LezBomb made.
And how did you make it go viral? I mean, was it just coincidence, or is it something you did with marketing to get it out there?
It was really interesting because the link initially had been on Vimeo, and that link was associated with all of the press. And that kind of capped out at about 500,000 views, but people kept ripping it off of Vimeo and putting it on YouTube. So the people at YouTube were like, you have to put it on YouTube yourself so we could flag it for copyright. And so when I put it on YouTube, that went up to like 10 million. It was
10 million, then I said 5 before, but 10's even better.
Well, it was 5 before the movie got made, and then it's gone up since, and it's just kind of it just had that short took on a journey of its own.
And then you ended up working with some really amazing cast, award-winning, award-nominated cast. It was your directorial debut as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how was that?
The cast that I worked with, and working with Bob and the producer Rob and my casting director Mia, everyone that sort of came together for that, I just felt madly in love with everyone. I love them all. I could not be more grateful for that experience.
You're so involved as well, to be, directing, to be acting. You were the writer as well. I mean, it's a lot to manage for your first big feature film.
Yeah, it was, and I don't want to necessarily wear that many hats ever again, but,
Well, the next alarm has gone off, which means it's time for us to go head-to-head in the game of your choice. You're going to see on the screen a number of different games, and I want you to pick one that you want to play today.
Okay.
What's it going to be?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Let's do it. So we're going to play first to 5, all right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And again. 1, 2, 3.
What is happening?
That's unlucky. 1, 2, 3. We're 2 in sync. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1 to me. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think there was a bit of delay on that one, but say 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a long game. 1, 2, 3.
Honestly, I think we just might be in the same brain.
1, 2, 3.
I think you just win.
We're going to get to 5. 1, 2, 3. I should have made it to 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's happening.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my left. I'll go with my left hand. Maybe that'll change it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 to you.
Okay, great.
That was a delay, but I think you got it. 1, 2, 3. 2-1 to me. Making progress. 1, 2, 3. 4, 3, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
My God. Well, apparently my left hand is just like.
4, 1. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll switch to my right hand for the last one. Match point. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you win.
Oh, that was fun. I win. 5-1.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So you said you had a good balance of work and play. Then what else have you been doing for the play side of things?
Yeah, we got we went up to Montauk. We got an Airbnb and just sat by the water and read and ate, and I wrote a little bit and drank and just hung out.
Did you get to do some water sports as well?
Yeah, I love stand-up paddleboard.
People do that here in the ocean. I don't know how they don't fall over. Tell us a bit more about sort of the future. Obviously you've done so well with LezBomb, and you've been working on the Stars and Thunder, and that's your own project as well. How's that?
Yeah, I work with Jesse Einstein, and he's we collaborated on that. He's just this brilliant it was such a pleasure working with him, and we'd like to turn that into a feature. And he just has such a vision for musicals. His enthusiasm is contagious.
Okay.
And then I have a new feature that I am working on, and we're starting to go out to cast. So that's like, I'm excited about that.
Oh, well, I want to hear more about that, but our last alarm is going off, which means it's time for you to build the Time Tower. Now, I asked you to bring with you some things to our little get together today. You should have there 6 pens.
Oh, yes.
Some tape or a rubber band.
Yes.
Fantastic. A small hand sanitizer. A cookie or a piece of chocolate.
I have a piece.
Yeah, you probably want a piece. And then you should have a pair of gloves.
Oh my God, these gloves, I don't know why these are the only gloves I could find, but they're neon.
They kind of match the background, actually. You know, you've got a green.
I know, I was just like, this is gonna be like so green.
Very color coordinated, especially all your pens matching. That's the best for any episode. Now, what you have to do, Jenna, is you have to build the tallest tower that you possibly can in the shortest amount of time.
So I have to put these on.
Yeah, and then the cookie or a piece of chocolate has got to balance on the top for 3 seconds before I can stop the stop clock. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Your time starts now. Do you have anything in mind?
I don't know. Just like kind of like a mess that's like tall.
Could you potentially move the camera down slightly?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see the genius at work, if you will.
Yes, that's what we want to know. So tell us a little bit more about the Stars and Thunder then. What's the story behind it?
So that came out because we wanted to explore what the meaning of how like living life to the fullest.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And then what stops us from living life to the fullest? And we wanted to use music because I think that sometimes, what is happening here? I think that people like sometimes are afraid of expressing themselves and their dreams. But like really life is, I think this is maybe,
Oh, so close. You're just over a minute in.
Okay, so let's see.
I love how all your projects, you know, have got an underlying message to them as well.
Yeah, it's really important. Like for me, I like love stories, and the power of stories and how that they can.
Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, stop. Okay, well, Jenna, I mean, probably not the tallest tower out of all of them, but you did do it in 1 minute and 33 seconds, which actually puts you at the top of our leaderboard, ahead of Formula E racing champion Lucas de Grassi, who was very, very competitive.
Okay, well, I feel pretty good about my day.
You're currently the champion of our time tower. You know, you can add it to all your other awards that you've got.
You know, look, I'm gonna hang something here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been such a pleasure to have you on. And when is your next feature? You said you're looking to cast at the moment. When do you hope to go into production on that?
Gosh, I don't know. With everything going on, I don't know what kind of timeline we're looking at. I had directed something in May that was like COVID safe. It was a COVID safe set, but I don't know how that's going to look on like bigger scripted projects. So,
well, we wish you the best of luck as and when you're able to start filming again.
Thank you
so much for being on the show today. It's been lovely to have you.
Yeah, it was nice to see you.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know what's happening.